Hey, have you been? Good. Me? Great. I just started online dating again. Yeah, I clearly hate myself, but at least I hate everybody else too. I think I'm growing. I've totally given up on love, which makes it so chill. Also, I've started trolling unicorn hunters, and it is hilarious. I want them to think about me 5 years from now and get frustrated. Do you think I'm a bad person for that? Okay, you don't have to answer that quickly. Jesus. You still want to hear the details, right? Okay, so girl number one. She was hot and super into me. And look, I do not want that to be a red flag, but it is 100% a red flag. I know how the world works. Anyways, we're going back and forth, real flirty. A little spicy, but nothing too out there. Like white girl spicy. And then she's like, you don't mind that I have a boyfriend, right? And I'm like, what? But I didn't say that. What I said was, you have a boyfriend? Wow. Can I see his pic? So she sent it to me. And I was like, oh my God, that is so weird. You're out of my league, but I am out of his league. So how does that work? Is he rich or something? And she got all offended, but she didn't say no. So you know he is. So I was like, baby, I don't know why you're mad at me. I am so on your side. You get that bag, queen. And then she blocked me. Then I saw this one profile that was open about being poly, which I respect. But they were also like, we're not unicorn hunters. We're just a married couple who wants a sexy, young, single, bisexual woman in the best shape of her life to spice up our bedroom and date both of us monogamously. No drama. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but barely. Anyway, I wasn't interested for obvious reasons, but I had to swipe right because, first of all, words have definitions. And second of all, no drama people are always so dramatic. And I thought their responses would be funny. I'm not actually sure who I was texting with, so I'm just going to assume it was like a Borg situation and say they. So I was like, hi, I have questions. And they were like, hey, gorgeous, what are your questions? I messed around for a while and played really dumb. I tried to look like good prey, you know? And then I was like, can I be real with you guys for a second? I'm interested, but honestly, my number one goal would be to seduce your wife and break up your marriage. Is that okay? So first, they cursed me out, and then they blocked me. A few days later, I saw this girl who didn't say she was poly, but there was a guy in her profile pic, and I know the signs. If I was wrong, then great. If I was right, then I would get to feel good about how smart I am. Win-win. So I matched with her, and I was like, oh my God, I love your pic. Is that your dad? And she was like, that's my boyfriend. So I was like, you're dating your dad? That's illegal. And she was like, LOL. And I was like, quick question. And please don't take this as an insult because I just really love women and I am crying for the child you were. Did you meet him before or after you turned 18? And then she blocked me. Side note, there are a weird number of men in my feed, even though I'm only supposed to match with women. And no, I don't mean people with weird gender stuff going on. I mean men. Like, there was this one guy named Joe who was wearing a baseball cap in his profile picture and was holding a fish in his only other photo. And I don't subscribe to stereotypes, but also I absolutely do. This man was giving off zero queer vibes. So I matched with him and I was like, "Are you trans?" And he was like, "Nah." And I was like, "Are you non-binary?" And he was like, "Nah." And I was like, "You know you're listed as a woman, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I asked, "Why?" And he said, "It worked, didn't it?" And then I blocked him. I mean, yeah, I have real conversations on the app sometimes, depending on what you mean by conversation and real. I went on a couple first dates too, but one of them looked nothing like her profile picture, and the other one was the human equivalent of a bobblehead. And yeah, I used to think the bobblehead thing was what I wanted in a partner, but that never really works out, you know? I feel like I need a girl who actually has her own opinions this time. And like, does it even matter? Even if I keep getting bad dates forever, what's the worst case scenario? I die alone. I've been living alone for a whole year now, and I'm the best roommate I've ever had, so whatever. I can wait. And until then, I'm going to keep trolling unicorn hunters. You know, to keep my spirits up. Every time I finish writing something, I just assume that this is it, and I'm never going to have another creative idea ever again. It hasn't happened yet, but it has been like a week since I wrote a script, so maybe this is it. Maybe I'm washed up.